Okay, so this is a little experimental, but I wanted to show you a bunch of stuff about your machine. So it's been done for a couple of weeks now. Let's see. Let's start over here with what we have left over. This big bag has all of the plastics I took off the machine. A lot of those are still in pretty good condition. So you could obviously keep them or just sell them off to make a little money back. Of all the parts you have left, this little bag has all of the plastics I ended up not using. A couple of these clear plastics it didn't seem to actually go anywhere or are a duplicate. So there's more than one in the box, and you'll notice that these two kind of billboard type plastics are unused. And the reason why is because they go here and here, and those are riveted on. And for one, they're pretty much perfect because they never get hit by the ball or anything. And drilling those rivets out is non-zero risk. So if they were like busted up or they looked really bad, I would have done it, because I have the correct rivet press to do pinball plastics, but I didn't see any advantage to that. So I just left them where they are. The other thing is I replaced the back box latch here, and I am going to take this off before I pack it up, because usually I just put tape over these things, but the last time I moved a pinball machine was the Congo, and when they were like sliding it around to get it on the back of the truck, they practically tore it off. So it's not worth leaving it there. So this will be, in your box of parts. So just remember to put it back on. The cover, of course, for the AC cable is in the box too. As far as the cabinet goes, the art is pretty damn good. You really don't have any art problems. I did some touch up here or there where I thought it really needed it, but I didn't go insane because things like greens and yellows are pretty easy to match, and reds aren't bad, and oranges. But blues are fucking impossible because apparently the human eye is much more sensitive to shades of blue. Who knew? But there was a lot of wear like here, above the button. And that's a new button, of course. But I just gently touched up the blues in there so it didn't look quite so bad. I thought it turned out pretty well. Your side rails are fine, but your lockdown bar was pretty scratched up. So I regrained that with some red 3M emery, and that turned out pretty well. There's still one or two big gouges, but I would need like a power polisher to really get those out, and I don't have that, at least not yet. So in the front, you can see I pulled all of the main bolts, cleaned them, put a brand new coat of paint on them, and got rid of the brackets and touched up the blue around the brackets. I left the old security bar brackets again. They're in the box. Replaced all four leg bolt brackets because at least two of them were in pretty bad shape, although replacing these two in back was really a pain in the ass. Okay, so this is where the cabinet was split here at the bottom, which is typical because assholes who are lazy, when the machine is up on its back in the travel position, instead of getting a dolly to move it, they just grab it and start dragging it around the floor. So of course, the edge of this plywood catches. So I actually, because I'm not prepared to flip the entire machine upside down, what I did was I put a lot of newspaper down when I had this thing up on blocks, and I used a syringe and a piece of aquarium plastic tubing and jammed the split open and shoved that plastic tubing up there and squirted the Type Bond 3 Carpenter's wood glue in there, and then I clamped it all for 24 hours, which is what the directions say to do for maximum hold. So hopefully, as long as you don't bang this thing around too much, that will hold. So, and new leg bolts, and your legs actually were a little dinged and scratched up and had some corrosion, so I cleaned them up and I put a fresh coat of Rust-Oleum black satin because that pretty much matched the finish that was there before. They turned out pretty well. I got a little bit of orange peel here and there because I think it was so damn cold. But overall, I think they look a lot better than they were, and I really don't like it when rust is starting. So okay, I'm going to put the camera down for a minute and pull the glass out and the balls out so I can show you some stuff in the playfield and then under the playfield.